So after Leon killed Tiana, Scully and Khadijah's daughter, Franklin Saint chose to back him, and it looks like he's going to go ahead with his expansion, and Leon's not happy with something, blaming Franklin. I'm breaking down the trailer for Snowfall episode 6, so welcome back to MovieBot. Let's talk Snowfall season 4, episode 6. So I hope you're all doing great and welcome to another Snowfall video, this time breaking down the episode 6 trailer and what to expect going forward in these next couple of episodes after Franklin decided that he's going to take Leon's side, which of course wasn't going to go down well with Manboy and Scully, who have not surprisingly to me put aside their differences to make sure that they deal with Leon, because in Manboy's words, tragedy has brought family together. So Manboy and Scully together makes a dangerous combination, but we're going to dive deep into this as well as breaking down the teaser for episode 6. So if you're new to the channel and you want to see everything Snowfall and Power Universe related, then remember to smash the subscribe button. But let's break down this teaser for episode 6, which is titled Say a Little Prayer. The synopsis of the episode reads, Franklin suffers the consequences of his choice, Jerome and Louis expand the business, Teddy is sent reeling, and Irene delivers an ultimatum. And we're going to talk all of these points, but of course focusing mainly on the situation between Leon, Franklin, Manboy and Scully. Episode 6 trailer shows that Franklin has sent Jerome and Louis to expand his business, and to be honest with you, Franklin at the minute has no choice because Manboy and Scully are clearly not going to be pushing any weight for him. Manboy made this clear at the end of episode 5. If Franklin made the business choice, then he would have handed Leon over, but Franklin was always going to back his boy. Louis on the other hand is actually more business minded, which is why she said they had to hand Leon over. If they handed Leon over, they could have expanded tenfold with no beef, no gang wars on the streets between Scully and Manboy's crew, but instead Franklin has no choice but to expand his operations through Louis' connections, as we see Jerome and Louis teaching them how to turn the product into rock, teaching the recipe and basically making them rich. Louis' head has always been in the game, and Manboy even acknowledged this. He said in episode 3 that when it was just them three doing business, it was all good, but the minute Franklin came back into the picture, everything started to kick off, and it's been a ripple effect from what happened to Franklin at the end of season 3. In season 3, he was ice cold. He made business decisions, but this season every decision seems to be based on pure emotion, and he seems a little vulnerable still, and he's not shaking this off. I want to see the cold Franklin Saint back, the one that we saw in season 3, the cold ruthless killer Franklin that we saw when he killed Mel's father Andre. He did what he needed to do. That was a business decision. Killing Andre was a clear business decision, and he didn't care what the consequences were for someone that he cared about, which was Mel. He had to make the decision and he made it. This season he's not quite made the right choices in my opinion from the very first episode, but I do think eventually we will see this Franklin Saint back. It's only a matter of time before we do. As I said, it may take a close family death for him to really get his head right back into the game, making these business decisions, making these killer ruthless decisions, and we've actually not seen that scene with Louis in the hospital bed just yet. So maybe that's just going to trigger Franklin Saints in a monster. We know that Khadijah is going to want blood. I don't think Scully's head is quite right at the minute. Khadijah said that she wants Leon dead, and we saw a broken Scully in the last episode. We saw a side to him that we've not seen before, and I think we'll still see him suffering in episode 6, which is why we could potentially see this scene. I know we never saw this in the episode 6 teaser, but this was released a few weeks back, and I do think this could be linked to why we saw Louis in the hospital fighting for a life. This season could end with Louis fighting for a life, and as I said, it may take something like this to happen before Franklin gets his head right. Now in my personal opinion, I think Franklin has made the right decision in backing Leon, but Teddy knows that Franklin has made the wrong business decision. So in the episode 6 trailer, we hear him telling him that I thought you were smarter than to let your feelings get in the way of what needs to be done, and he was talking about Franklin choosing Leon over his business. Now the reason why Teddy chose Franklin and has been in this business for this length of time was Franklin's ability to grow and expand this business and make Teddy money. But even though Franklin is in essence expanding his business, he's actually going one step forward and two steps back. With what I mentioned earlier, he'll effectively be losing Manboy and Scully, which were huge players for him. So not only will this hurt the pockets of Franklin, but will also hurt the pockets of Teddy and then have a knock-on impact on the war in Nicaragua. So Teddy is going to tell Franklin do what's needed and do what's needed for himself, not for his loyalty to Leon, and Teddy's going to lay down the law. Business comes first. And in the episode 6 trailer, we do see Franklin telling Leon that he needs to surrender, but whether this is before or after the conversation with Teddy, we don't know, and whether Louis has actually talked some sense into Franklin, we'll have to find out of course. I don't think Leon is just going to surrender, and I don't think it's going to stop Manboy and Scully looking for blood either. We also see Franklin getting picked up by the same cop who was talking to Irene, who was telling Irene that he wants to see Franklin Saint behind bars. He's been picked up because he's a known associate of Leon, and Teddy already gave the information to Franklin. He said that the police know that it was Leon. Franklin is definitely going to be on their radar now because he's a known associate of Leon. I actually at first, when we saw this image a few weeks ago, it actually looked like it could be Officer Nixon on a power trip again, and he was the one slamming Franklin Saint down, but it's just not, and I wonder whether he will actually play a role going forward, or whether we'll see Officer Next again in the next couple of episodes, whether Franklin can use him. But the ending scene is probably one of the most interesting ones from the episode 6 trailer, which was Leon actually shouting in Franklin's face, "This is your fault." And I do find it a little sad to see these two still at each other's throats, and I do think Franklin does need to help Leon out, because it is partly Franklin's fault. Everything that we're seeing play out is a knock-on effect from the first 2 episodes, where Franklin's decision to back Manboy actually backfired on him. So yeah, I do think it's only right that Franklin does back his boy, which we did see in the last episode, to be fair, but we're gonna see his stance change in episode 6, and whether he goes as far as to handing Leon in is yet to be seen. I definitely don't think we'll see Franklin handing Leon to Manboy and Scully. I'm sure we can rule that one out, because I can't see Franklin doing it. It would definitely be sending Leon into a cage with a wild pack of dogs. Scully and Manboy would actually torture Leon before killing him and making sure he felt the pain that he put Khadija through. So considering that Franklin has already decided to back Leon, then I only think it's right that he sees this through and continues to back him. But why is Leon actually screaming at Franklin? In my video yesterday, I said it doesn't look good for Fatback. I genuinely think that Fatback could get killed in the next episode, and that's why he's screaming at Franklin. It's either Fatback or Wanda who get killed, in my opinion, and it could be why we see him not just screaming at Franklin, but we also see him here slamming a table in his hideout. Fatback is a funny character, I actually like him, but someone has to pay the consequences for the death of Tiana, and I don't think it's going to be Leon just yet. So I think Fatback could definitely bite the dust, and what I mentioned earlier on in the video with Louis being in the hospital and Khadija out for revenge, we could potentially see Khadija firing a shot at Fatback or Louis. Not sure who it could be, but whether this happens in the next episode, we don't know. But anyway guys, drop me your thoughts down below on episode 6, drop me your predictions in the comment section for what you think will happen to Leon. Will he actually surrender? And I'm actually predicting that Fatback or Wanda to die in the next episode, because there's bound to be some consequences for Leon's actions, and I'm leaning more towards Fatback being killed, because I can only see him making this silly decision, like coming out for wherever he's hiding from, either bump into Manboy or Khadija herself. I can see Khadija actually smoking Fatback and doing what needs to be done, because I don't think Scully is in the right frame of mind right now. So drop me all your predictions down below in the comment section, and if you're new to the channel and you want to see everything Snowfall related, then remember to smash the subscribe button. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.